Hi everyone, it's Tanya and welcome to today's video. Today's video is a very exciting one because it is a new readathon TBR. And this readathon is especially interesting and important for me because it is in a sphere where I really need more education. It is Victober. So Victober 2020. This is my Victober 2020 TBR. Victober is aimed on reading Victorian literature throughout the whole month of October. If you don't know, if you're new, I am Russian. And in Russian schools, or at least like in my school where I studied, we didn't study foreign literature. Our literature class, which was like obligatory for everybody in Russia, we don't really have the system when you choose your credits or when you choose classes that you attend. Everybody attends the same classes everybody has to attend. So like literature was like an obligatory class for everybody. And in literature class, we studied only Russian literature, like only Russian classics. I really don't have any knowledge about like English classics, about Victorian classics. For a very long time I didn't even know any name. For a very long time I had no idea who George Eliot was. I have never heard the name Elizabeth Gaskell. I have never heard of Thomas Hardy until I started researching the topic myself, and you know, finding booktubers talking about these authors and talking about these books. For a very long time, I am even ashamed to tell you for how long. Pretty much till like a few years back when I started watching booktube, I really didn't know who those authors were. That's why I'm saying that I really need more education in this sphere, and that's why I'm saying that Victober is not only interesting but also very much needed readathon for me. I am going to introduce you some of the books that I am going to be reading throughout the month of October. So Victober has 3 people that conduct the readathon. First host is Katie from Books and Things, and then Lucy from Lucy the Reader, and then Kate. I will link all of the announcement videos, all 3 of them, in the description box down below. And if you want to participate, you should also check them out, because each host has a challenge and then each host has recommendations for you. So that's why it's very important to also watch their videos, because there will be so many interesting recommendations from Victorian literature for you. I have watched and I definitely found. All the links will be down below in the description. But let's start with the challenges, and I'm very excited about them. So the first challenge is read a Victorian novel that corresponds to your favorite modern genre. So in my case, my favorite modern genres would be literary fiction and historical fiction. So since I don't really know much about Victorian literature, I really don't know what books would correspond to literary fiction. I feel like majority of them no, because literary fiction, you know, it's like, you know, books that are talking about social problems or political problems, or you know, having very deep character studies. So I feel like majority of classical literature would probably correspond to literary fiction. But let me know, I would like to know your recommendations. What Victorian novels would you recommend me that correspond to our modern literary fiction genre? Please let me know. And since I'm not sure about literary fiction, I have chosen books for historical fiction, so historical novels. And the first book that I'm going to read for that is Louise the Witch by Elizabeth Gaskell. I will scooch a little bit here, so I will put the picture of the book here. So Louise the Witch by Elizabeth Gaskell. And in this story we follow a young girl who has just lost her parents, and she became an orphan, and now she is sent across the ocean to her uncle's family to live with them. And when she arrives there, she is met with a lot of hostility. The family isn't really very welcoming to her. And then something happens in the town that she lives. When the local pastor's daughters are contorted and convulsed by apparently satanic powers, the whole town is whipped into a hysterical witch hunt. And then, as the blurb says it, when her cousins are tired of Louise's presence in their house, her life becomes dangerous and her life becomes even more difficult. has something to do with Salem witch trials. Very interesting, so I really want to give it a try, especially because this book is very short. It's just like 90 pages, so I feel like it's going to be a very quick, interesting, short historical novella about witch hunts by Elizabeth Gaskell. Brilliant. It's going to be my first book by Elizabeth Gaskell, but in one of my previous videos a few of you said that she is a very good writer and that she is a very beloved writer, so I definitely need to give her a read, and this is going to be my first book by her. Then one more book that I found for historical novel is Thomas Hardy, The Trumpet Major, and this is Thomas Hardy's only historical novel, which is set with the background of Napoleonic Wars, and we follow like a love triangle, but also just like life of a small village community, from what I gather from the synopsis. And the novel shows how these big events in like world history affect lives of small, simple people in small villages. So it sounds very interesting to me, and I really like stories set in small towns, books about just simple small people, because I feel like that is the life. This is the life of the majority of the population, and I really like when that life is represented in books. I'm very excited to read Thomas Hardy, The Trumpet Major. Next challenge is Lucy's challenge, and Lucy's challenge is to read Victorian diary or a collection of Victorian letters. This is also very interesting to me because I haven't read any diaries or any collections of letters. It is going to be a very new kind of form of storytelling to me, and I really want to give it a try. So I'm excited for this challenge as well. And for this I decided to read Selected Letters by Charlotte Bronte in this beautiful Oxford Classics edition. Lucy in her video recommended also a collection of Bronte letters, but her collection also had letters by Anne and Emily. In this book it's just going to be Charlotte. I feel like it just was the most affordable for me currently collection of letters. So yeah, I have already ordered it, it's on its way to me, and I'm looking forward to reading it. Next challenge is by Kate, and in this challenge you have to read a new to you book by your favorite Victorian author. So like I said in the beginning of this video, I haven't read much Victorian literature. That's why I don't really have a favorite Victorian author. However, currently I am reading Hard Times by Charles Dickens, and I'm really enjoying that book a lot. I don't think that it's going to be my new favorite, probably not, but it's still like I'm really enjoying that book. I'm really liking it. I like his writing style. I write all the characters and just the plot. I'm really enjoying the Hard Times that I'm reading currently. That's why I feel like for this prompt I will go with one of Charles Dickens' books. So currently I own 2 more books by him. One of these books is Bleak House, which is huge, but it has been on my shelves for a very long time and I really need to read it. And one more book that I have is Little Dorrit, which is also gigantic. So both of these books are gigantic. I think maybe Little Dorrit is a little bit even bigger, so I have to choose between them. But I also recently I actually ordered what's it called, Great Expectations, also in this Penguin English Library edition, and I think Great Expectations is shorter than both of these books, so I might read that. But actually both of these books sound so good, especially Little Dorrit. Little Dorrit, I feel like I'm going to like it. So what the blurb says: a masterly evocation of the state and psychology of imprisonment, Little Dorrit is one of the supreme works of Dickens's maturity. Doesn't it sound, I feel like this could correspond to the genre of literary fiction, psychology? I feel like it could. Okay. When Arthur Clenham returns to England after many years abroad, he takes a kindly interest in Amy Dorrit, his mother's seamstress, and in the affairs of Amy's father, a man of shabby grandeur. long imprisoned for debt in the Marshalsea. As Arthur discovers, the dark shadow of the prison stretches far beyond its walls to affect many lives. The blurb doesn't really tell you much, but apparently it's going to be about this Dorrit and her father and how his imprisonment is affecting lives of people around him. Sounds like something that to me actually sounds very interesting, and I really want to give it to read. It just that it intimidates me. But just from what I'm reading currently by Charles Dickens, Hard Times, I am really enjoying his language. I was afraid, to be honest. I was afraid because, like, Charles Dickens sentences are going to be very long. I was expecting the book to be very hard to read, but actually no. In the beginning, yes, I had to get used to his writing, but once I got used to it, I'm actually really liking it. So I feel like even though it's so big, I might even really enjoy it. The same goes for The Bleak House. So I feel like I just need to pick them up. So for the third challenge, which is read a book by your favorite Victorian author, I'm going to read one of Charles Dickens' works. Even though I cannot really say that he's my favorite Victorian author, he's just, I guess, an author that I'm currently enjoying. Next prompt is to read a book that was on your previous Victober TBR. Since I didn't participate in the previous Victober, I don't really have such a book, but there is another option, which is to read a book which you have been meaning to read for a long time. And for that I have Silas Marner by George Eliot. This is a very short book which makes me happy. I had this book not a very long time, but for some reason I really want to read it, and I have a strong feeling that I'm going to really like it. It's just the blurb, like the first sentence in the blurb, I'm like, yes. So what it says: Silas Marner, the story of an isolated man who learns to open his heart. And it was George Eliot's favorite of her novels, combining humor, rich symbolism, and pointed social criticism. In this book we follow Silas Marner, who was exiled from his religious community because he was wrongly accused of something, and now he lives alone. Apparently he has a lot of gold, and like his gold is his only consolation, but then his gold gets stolen from him, and there is this young girl who finds her way into his house, and apparently he learns to love this Epi. Sounds so good, and sounds like it's going to be just something very kind and loving and just heartwarming, and I love such books. So I have a very strong feeling that I'm going to really like Silas Marner, and that's why for prompt number 4 I will be reading this book. The last prompt is to read any Victorian novel while wearing something Victorianesque, so like some Victorianesque clothes. Perfect. Recently I have seen a short, like a top, which kind of reminds me a little bit of Victorian dresses, so I might get that. But for books that I would be reading, I have to choose because I'm not sure. So I have these two books. I have Kim by Rudyard Kipling, which I know that Kipling probably isn't exactly Victorian author. I feel like I read on the internet and it was like he's like on the border of Victorian period and Edwardian period. I think the next one is Edwardian, right? Maybe he isn't exactly a Victorian writer, but I just really want to read Kim because the book also sounds like something I would love, because we follow a story of a young white English boy who was born in India, and he grew up in India, and he has always been playing with his peers from the slums, but he's obviously different from them. He's white. And then another character is a priest who seeks redemption from the wheel of life, and Kim celebrates their friendship and their journeys in a beautiful, exotic but often hostile environment. So again, a book about friendship. Like, I love such stories, so I really want to read Kim. And also just, you know, exotic environment, book set in India, very exciting. So yes, this is one of my possibilities. And then one more is definitely a very Victorian novel, which is Dracula. And Everybody knows what Dracula is about. Dracula, the vampire. It is a chilling masterpiece of the horror genre. Dracula illuminates the dark corners of Victorian sexuality. I have actually a video idea for this book, so I might read this or I might read The Kim. We will see. I will just go with the flow. I will just go with the mood and we will see what I'm going to be in the mood for. But this is like two of my choices. One more Victorian novel to read while I'm wearing something Victorian. My Victorian blouse. You will see in my Victober vlogs. These are the choices. And there you have it, guys. My Victober 2020 TBR. Let me know in the comments if you are going to participate in Victober this year, what books you are going to read. Also, please let me know your favorite Victorian authors and your favorite books by them. I would love to know, and I would definitely love to check them out and read myself. And also let me know which Victorian novel do you think corresponds to our current literary fiction genre. So I would maybe also pick that novel up and read for literary fiction. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're excited for Victober as well. Please do check out videos of hosts because they have a lot of interesting recommendations for the readathon. I found so many interesting books from there, especially from Katie's video. She has like such a huge list of Victorian novels corresponding to different genres, and some of the novels I have never heard about before, so that was very interesting. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next videos. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.